From Conor McGregor claiming to have finally found the best of both worlds, to Jorge Masvidal calling it perfect, pro fighters have a lot to say about the UFC-WWE merger. Let's get into it. Starting with what Mystic Mac said. Of course, he was one of the first fighters to talk about the whole situation. McGregor's earned some major bragging rights throughout his career, especially because he became the first UFC champion to hold titles in 2 different weight classes at the same time. That's exactly why his ego is huge.
Wow! That was cute. That was Conor. McGregor the southpaw with the kick. He's in the black trunks, green trunks for Dennis Sieber.
The Notorious is always messing around and trash talking, so you never know when he's serious. Just a little while ago, he teased fans by saying he wanted to move to the WWE. I know that's the kind of attention McGregor would love. Now that the 2 companies are joining forces, it looks like this might just happen. In fact, he thinks he can have the best of both worlds. The Irish MMA champ tweeted a photo of him wearing both the UFC and WWE belts over his shoulders, captioning it with the hashtag it's inevitable. If there's one guy who's going to enjoy all the WWE drama, it's Conor McGregor, that's for sure.
You know, Ric Flair is a legend. But as far as talking about gimmicks, this is the real thing over here. I think these WWE guys think this is...
While Mystic Mac thinks he can accomplish this easily, others don't agree. Paul Heyman, a wrestling manager, responded to the tweet by saying that he doesn't think McGregor has it in him to be a 2-promotion champion. To Heyman, Conor McGregor is just a Roman Reigns wannabe, and he wasn't afraid to say it. The former UFC champion responded, saying that he'd break Paul's jaw in 3 places. It looks like he's already getting charged up to join the WWE. It's clear that he's pretty excited about the company's acquisition by the UFC. He even tweeted out a congratulations message. The Notorious isn't the only UFC legend who shared his thoughts on the whole situation.
There's no issue why it shouldn't move fast. So I assume late summer, maybe a little bit later, depending. I would like that, and then of course that's still half the year left.
Jorge Masvidal also had a lot to say. For starters, he loves it. According to Gamebred, this new team-up is going to open up a lot of doors for both parties. Of course, he had to bring up the Brock Lesnar and AJ Ferrari examples, and how it'll be perfect for fighters who want to dabble in a little bit of both.
If I'm not in line for the title after beating Wonder Boy, I don't know. Maybe I need to do more like WWE stuff, I guess. I don't know. It's gonna be weird if I'm not.
As for the rest of them, when they're done with fighting in the UFC, Jorge thinks that they can move over to the WWE and earn a paycheck. There's no denying that the WWE is perfect for fighters who are too old for the UFC. Plus, now that the companies have joined forces, the transition's going to be super easy. Masvidal isn't the only fighter who brought up Lesnar though. Gilbert Burns, his UFC 287 opponent, did too.
All right, I'm here with Jorge Masvidal. Jorge, this is a special night for you tomorrow night.
Burns thinks that the sale is a huge move for both parties involved. Dorino also thinks that both the UFC and WWE can learn a lot from each other. As expected, the fighters also challenged Brock Lesnar when he was talking about this whole thing, saying that it's going to be a good opportunity to slap Lesnar in the face.
You know, I think UFC can learn so much from the WWE and the vice versa. And it's a good opportunity to slap Brock Lesnar on the face too, right? That is a good opportunity.
It looks like he's challenging the Conqueror. If a Lesnar versus Burns bout actually happens, it's going to be so epic. I personally can't wait for it. While Dorino is anticipating his next fight, fans are coming up with names of people who might move to WWE. Izzy Adesanya could be one of them. Now, they think this is all because Israel said that he liked the sale. Who knows what's actually going to happen though? It seems like most UFC fighters love this new venture, and Kelvin Gastelum is no exception. He thinks that the UFC and WWE events could be merged at some point in the future. If that happens, he wants to put on a luchador mask and team up with Cain Velasquez. Velasquez has been a part of the WWE as well, so he knows both franchises pretty well. Gastelum is excited to possibly team up with Cardio Kane, but he also wants to see Conor McGregor make an appearance in WWE. At this point, point, it might just happen. This merger has the potential to completely change the future of the MMA world. And while nobody knows how exactly things are going to go down between the UFC and WWE, everyone's really looking forward to the endless possibilities. There's no doubt that change is afoot over at the UFC, and this means that fans might see fighters leave the organization for WWE. Household names in Dana White's league like Lesnar and Ronda Rousey might move over to WWE, where they're probably going to be more successful. This means they're going to bring in more money too, which is definitely a plus. Everyone associated with the UFC is going to be affected by this merger, and people think this is eventually going to lead to a fight between Brock Lesnar and Daniel Cormier. Both of them are reputed heavyweights who are literal legends, and to see them back in the octagon is every UFC fan's dream.
Bigger, younger, faster. Just awesome, you know? And now Daniel Cormier has got the back of Dan Henderson with the arm underneath the neck.
Yeah, he wants to
Dan's
finish
in
his
trouble.
fight.
Plus, they have beef too, considering that after DC's win at UFC 226, he called the next big thing out. If a fight does end up happening, it's going to be intense. Change is coming for both the UFC and WWE at this point, but it looks like WWE is going to get a bigger makeover this time around. Endeavor, UFC's parent company, bought the iconic wrestling company for a whopping $9.3 billion. That's insane. Goes without saying, but this deal means that Vince McMahon is not going to be running the show, at least for the most part anyway. After he paid millions in hush money, he was looking to sell the company his family built from the ground up. Now that he's done it, as a part of the merger deal, he's going to step down from his old position and become the executive chairman for the new company. Honestly though, it doesn't sound like a bad deal at all. On the other hand, Dana White is going to remain the president of the UFC, and Nick Khan is going to become the president of the WWE. This whole deal is so huge that it's unbelievable. Even McMahon couldn't help but say that it's bigger than all the WrestleManias combined. Endeavor is definitely going to make the most of this. After all, the new entertainment company is worth over $21 billion. While this is a lot of money, it's not shocking at all. The two companies were thriving before they joined forces, and now that they're together, other sports entertainment companies don't stand a chance. Fans and fighters are both happy about this new change. After all, it's going to be great, especially for up-and-coming WWE stars. They're going to get a lot more media exposure from this point onward because of their automatic association with Endeavor and the UFC. Thank WWE stars who crossed over to Hollywood like Dave Bautista or The Rock. Fans are hopefully going to be seeing a lot more of that. At the same time, WWE isn't at the same level as the UFC right now. And if stars like Conor McGregor make a move to pro wrestling, the current WWE talent is going to get less exposure. After all, everyone knows that the wrestling promotion thrives off star power. And when you think about it, barely anyone in the fighting world has as much of it as the Irishman. Wrestling is all about the dramatic storylines, and you best believe McGregor's gonna bring the dramatics to the ring. All in all, it looks like this merger has all the pro fighters hyped, and I can understand why. That's all I have for what UFC fighters think about the latest Endeavor business move today.